shops need to have clean floors to prevent slips and falls, and also to prevent any spills, leaks, or debris, such as metal filings or brake dust, that may migrate or run off to the outdoors. Liquid and oil leaks or spills, and debris from auto shop processes can contain poisonous chemicals such as heavy metals, oils, solvents, surfactants, PFAS, and other ingredients that are very toxic to wildlife. Wet mopping, wet sweeping, or hosing can result in creating more hazardous waste than is necessary, generating wastewater that increases pretreatment, migration of oily or chemical-laden water to the outdoors. If mop water spills aren't disposed of properly, or flow outside and reach a catch basin and storm drains, it can potentially contaminate local waterways. Many catch basins lead directly to local waterways without any treatment at your city's wastewater facility. Dry cleaning and minimizing water use to the extent possible for floor cleaning is best. This video will look at different best management practices that assist with running a dry shop. Avoidance of spills and leaks to floors is best to prevent the need for cleaning at all. Always use drip pans under vehicles being serviced. Always place drip pans under bulk container dispensers or other fluid transfer mechanisms. Use large funnels on containers to minimize drips during transfer. Do not leave drip pans or other open containers lying on the ground where staff can trip and spill the contents. Clean as you go. Clean leaks and drips immediately. Ensure oil and liquid spill cleanup materials are accessible and staff know how to clean up leaks and spills. Prevent excess buildup of oil and grease on equipment. Use dustless vacuum systems during any sanding and scraping. Sweep or use a vacuum to clean up dust, debris, and blasting wastes. When using parts cleaners, drain parts over the basin and/or drip boards until drip-free. Collect all metal filings, dust, and paint chips from grinding, shaving, and sanding, and dispose of waste properly. Collect all dust from brake pads separately and dispose of waste properly. Never sweep these wastes outside. Steam cleaners, for example, in engine cleaning, consume and generate much less water than a hose. If steam is used, always use a collection drip pan or tarp underneath the area being cleaned. Capture the condensate and dispose of as hazardous waste, or if allowed by regulators, to the sanitary sewer. If any exterior car cleaning is conducted in the shop, use waterless cleaners. You can refer to our wash water video using the QR code at the end of this video. Another preventative action, although outside the doors of your shop, are to sweep parking lots and areas around your facility and collect the sweepings for disposal, instead of washing them down with water. So, after you've done all this great preventative work to minimize floor debris and oils, how do you run a dry shop, or dryer shop? First is to avoid water use to the extent possible by use oleophilic, oil-absorbent mops that pick up oil and not water, clean small leaks and drips with rags and possibly a small amount of degreaser, clean up larger spills with dry absorbent material. Before introducing any water for floor cleaning, use dry cleanup methods such as sweeping or vacuuming, and ensure collected materials are disposed of as hazardous waste if they include any oil residue or possible heavy metal contamination. If water is being used for cleaning shop floors and adjacent outdoor areas, the best option is a damp mop, leaving minimal water on the floor. For potential spills of mop buckets, keep squeegees and absorbent snakes on hand to prevent the water from migrating outside the shop. Contain the wash water and dispose of it in the sanitary sewer with permission of sewer provider or off-site disposal. Obviously, never dispose of wash water or any liquids in a catch basin, storm drain, gutter, or the street. Employing the best management practices covered in this video will help prevent pollution from leaving your business and reaching catch basins and storm drains. The goal is preventing contaminants from reaching our local waterways. Remember, almost all storm drains go unfiltered to your local waterways. The choices you make can impact the environment and the species that depend on them, like you, me, and our local wildlife. Reach out to an EcoBiz staff member for further technical assistance.